Hello. Oops. Hello and welcome to another Linguistical class. My name is Allison and today we are going to be learning some vocabulary, specifically sports idioms. Oh, hi Anna.
Hi, Edison.
How
What have
are
you
you?
been? I'm fine. Better now that I could join a class because there is a teacher that she is having problems and she hasn't been teaching, you know,
Oh, okay.
and all classes were called off. And now I
Mhm.
thought, oh no, uh, Edison is having problems as as well. My gosh, and
Oh,
finally,
today?
uh no, the other teacher,
Mm.
uh since before yesterday, and she had set up a bunch of classes, but it
Oh.
seems that anyone will happen in the
Oh
future.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I hope that she can get some more classes soon so that you can join them. But either
Well,
way, I'm.
she is who has more classes, in the future, but I just received a message from the support team saying that
Oh, okay.
she is going to be unavailable. Mm.
I see. I see. Oh man, well that's a shame. I'm sure she'll have more classes in the future though, so hopefully she gets back up and running soon for you.
I hope so, or maybe I hope that they replace her. Mm.
Oh, so with more classes, you mean?
Yes, because there is one day in the future that um, just just she is supposed to teach. There is no more classes. I hope that
Oh,
they put someone to teach this day.
yeah, okay. Well, I hope they figure it out. I don't really know how all that stuff works with Linguistico, but I'm glad that you were able to join my class today.
So
And
do
today we
I.
really Thanks for coming. Today I really like this topic. Do you know what we're talking about today?
Yes, we are going to talk sports idioms. I love idioms.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And I always learn something new when I am researching new idioms. So it's always fun for me too. We're constantly learning. So let me share my PowerPoint with you and we'll get started on some new vocabulary, okay?
All right, thank you.
First, do you play any sports?
Um, yes, I like working out
Okay.
and snorkeling, wakeboarding, um,
Cool.
mhm, and paddleboarding.
And what?
Paddleboarding.
Oh, cool. I love stand-up paddleboard. That's really fun. Wow,
Yeah.
lucky you. You get a lot of water sports, so that's really nice.
Mhm.
Um, Today we are going to talk about mostly idioms, obviously from American English or from the UK. So they have a lot to do with those types of sports. So not a lot of water sports, but we'll definitely learn some new ones today, and hopefully you can use them in everyday talk. All right, let me share my PowerPoint with you and we'll get started. Just
All
let me
right.
know when you can see it.
Mhm.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay. So we have I chose this background because we have a nice little field to play our sports on. A lot of these have to do with team sports, but obviously they can be related in general to anything. That's why they're idioms. So in every class, I like to talk about why is this even important, right?
Mhm.
So will you please read this slide?
Um, Why is this important? Idioms. Even these sports idioms are part of everyday language for native speakers. You will need to understand them in order to comprehend speakers and also learn to use them yourself. You cannot talk them literally, of course.
Good. Excellent. Oh, just this word. What's this word?
Take.
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Yeah, so of course we can't take these literally unless we are in the situation of the sport. But other than that, we use them in everyday language. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so I have a conversation here. It's a couple slides. It's a couple slides long. So I guess in order to practice reading and pronunciation, I'll have you read one Bob first, and then I'll read Pete, and then we can switch, okay?
Okay.
Before we
Sorry.
before we begin, just take a look at the slide, and do you see the italicized font?
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Those are the idioms we are going to be talking about. Okay?
Okay.
So try and listen and try and understand the idioms just from the context. But if you don't understand them, that's okay. We're going to go over all of them at the end. And trust me, there's a lot. So don't worry if you don't know all of them, okay?
Okay. I don't know, okay?
All right.
I can tell you that I don't know anyone.
Awesome. Well, maybe from reading, you'll be able to kind of catch what it means. All right, Bob, go ahead and I'll be Pete.
Well, is Robert going to play ball, or are we going to strike out on the deal?
The latest gossip is that our game plan is a real contender for the contract.
Yeah, the other team has 2 strikes against it after they fumbled.
Yeah, fumbled. Good.
Fumbled after they fumbled last week.
Excellent. They had a great chance of scoring, but I think Roberts thought they weren't up to scratch on some of the details.
They pretty much put themselves into a no-win situation by stalling,
Stalling.
stalling,
Good.
stalling for time on the figures from Smith and Co. If we can get to home at the next meeting, I think that we should be able to take the ball and run.
If our numbers are right, we should be able to call the shots from here.
We just need to get ready to close the deal.
Continue. Oh, make sure that you take along your team players next week. I want to be sure that everyone is playing with a full deck and that everyone can field any question asked.
I will take Shirley and Harry along. They are no second stringers. They can present the ballpark figures, and then I will bring it on home.
Great. Good luck with the pitch. All right. That's the end of that. Excellent reading. I know that was a lot. Of idioms and new words, but you did great with it. So thank you. One thing, pronunciation. Could you say this word for me again?
Present.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. So when this word is a verb, it's different. It's pronounced differently when it's a noun.
Okay.
So if it were a noun, it'd be a present. So emphasis on the first syllable. And for a verb, it's present, like you just said. Emphasis on the second syllable. Good. So in this case, it is a verb.
Okay.
All right. So let's practice reading again. This time I'll have you read Pete, or yeah, I'll have you read Pete and I'll be Bob, okay?
All right.
Okay, and take your time. This is just to practice reading and pronunciation and just to become familiar with the new words. Yeah, familiar with the new words and kind of just get them in your mind, okay? So take your time. All
Mhm.
right, ready? Closing a deal. Well, is Roberts going to play ball or are we going to strike out on this deal?
The latest gossip is that our game plan is a real contender for the contract.
Good, good. Yeah, the other team has 2 strikes against it after they fumbled last week.
They had a great chance of scoring, but I think Roberts proved they were. Oh gosh, they had a great chance of scoring, but I think Roberts thought they weren't up
Good,
to scratch on the details. Some of the
good,
details.
good, good. They pretty much put themselves into a no-win situation by stalling for time on the figures with Smiths and Co. If we can get to home at the next meeting, I think that we should be able to take the ball and run.
If our numbers are right, we should be able to call the shots from here.
We just need to get ready to close the deal.
Make sure that you take along your team players next week. I wanna be sure that everyone is playing with a full deck and that everyone can field any question asked.
I'll take Shirley I'll take Shirley and Harry along. They are no second stringers. They can present the ballpark figures and then I will bring it on home.
Great. Good luck with the beat.
Nice. All right, good. Perfect reading that time. Awesome. All right, questions on that before we review what these actually mean?
Mm, my questions are just about the meaning.
Okay, cool. So we'll go over that right now. Awesome. So I know it's really easy to just kind of explain what they mean, but I put this conversation in so you can see it in the and hear it in the context. So hopefully that helps a little bit. So let's start with the first one. Play ball and strike out. The quote, could you please read, Bob?
Okay. Well, is Roberts going to play ball or are we going to strike out on the deal?
Good, excellent, good intonation. So, um, I have the literal meaning. So where the idiom actually came from and what sport. But then I have the actual idiom meaning below it. So let's not confuse the two. Um, Play ball and strike out are actually both baseball terms. And
Mm-hmm.
play ball obviously means play baseball or play a game. What is the idiom meaning of play ball? Can you please read?
Do business with.
Good. Yeah. So we can use this in casual or formal contexts, um, but we would not use this in formal writing.
Okay.
So you would use it. I think it looks like Bob and Pete are at the office talking casually. So they're in a formal setting, but they aren't in formal writing or anything or talking to their boss, right? They're just kind of coworkers. So in this case, it's appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So we have strike out. So this is also a baseball term, and this means to go without any runs, right? You get 3 strikes and you're out. What is the idiom definition?
Fail.
Good. Yeah. So this is similar to what it means in baseball. In baseball, when you strike out, it means you didn't get any hits. And so it's another person's turn, right? You didn't score any points. And it's similar in the idiom context. It means to fail, right? You didn't get any hits, you didn't get any success, you failed, okay? So
Okay.
let's read the quote again. Can you please read Bob again and see if we can kind of understand it a little bit better?
All right. Well, is Roberts going to play ball, or are we going to strike out on the deal?
Excellent. So in this case, Bob is asking if Roberts is going to do some business, or if they're going to not do well or fail on this deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Questions on that one?
No.
All right, let's keep going. Oops. Okay. All right, we have two here. We have game plan and contender. Please read Pete.
The latest gossip is that our game plan is a real contender for the contract.
Good. Okay, so game plan and contender, two different sports. What sport does contender come from?
Boxing.
Yeah, and what is the literal meaning?
Very possible winner.
Yeah, so this is someone who could potentially win in a boxing match. What is the real meaning, the idiom meaning?
Person with a good chance of success.
Yeah, so these are actually similar in the literal meaning and the idiom meaning, right? So boxing, it's someone who could win, and the idiom, it's also someone who could win or succeed. Cool. All right. Game plan. What sport does this come from?
American football.
Yeah, and what does this refer to? What does this mean in football?
A plan which plays to make.
Good. Yeah. So it's the plan of the game, right? It's the plan of the game in order to succeed or score. So it's really similar, and it's just generalized in the idiom sense. So although it's not talking about football, it could be about anything, the same thing. And in this case, it is. Could you please read?
A plan of action.
Yeah, excellent. So same thing. It's not a game, but it's a plan of sort of action of life. So as long as we kind of generalize these sports terms to our everyday lives, they're usually, a lot of them are exactly the same meaning. Cool. So now let's read Pete again, knowing that we now know contender and game plan.
Okay. The latest gossip is that our game plan is a real contender for the contract.
Excellent, right? So this is the latest gossip is that our plan of action is a possible contender, meaning a good chance of succeeding for the contract. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, or should we review it a little bit more?
Um, can I get the slides after the class?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely. Just make sure that you write your email into in a message to me or in this chat because I can't send this over the website, I don't think, because it's an attachment. So if you send me
Um,
your personal email, then I can send it there.
a teacher
Hmm.
sent me the slides through the messages in English ones.
Um, yeah, I would, but I think you can't send attachments in those messages. So unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to attach the PowerPoint.
Okay. Can I
Oh, you know what I can do actually? Here,
hmm,
let me. I
can
actually
I
have the
can I give
website right here.
my email to you?
Even easier, I am going to send this to you. Um,
Okay.
This is a link to all of the terms and
Mm.
the conversation.
Uh,
Take a look at that after class, and if that doesn't help you, then let me know, and I can send you the other stuff later. Just
okay.
send me a message, okay?
I'd rather have your slides if you wouldn't mind.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right, I will copy your email right now. One moment. Okay. Let me just save it so I don't forget. And do you, okay, so the whole PowerPoint. All right. Just one moment. I'm going to write it down in my email so I don't forget. And that way you can teach your friends. You can be the teacher and teach the PowerPoint.
I would like to be an English teacher in the future.
You should. It's such a great occupation. But let me tell you one thing. So something that I learned in, I forget exactly what class it was, but I think it was a study skills class for one of my students. Um, there's certain percentages that you learn best with, either by reading or writing or seeing. But the number one best way and highest percentage to retain information is to teach it. So believe it or not, if you want to study something, it's better to teach it to someone or just pretend you're teaching it to your teddy bear or something, whatever. If you teach it and say it aloud, it's actually the best way to retain the information. So once I send you this PowerPoint, you should definitely teach it to somebody.
Okay, I will.
It sounds silly, I know, but I promise you, you will retain
No,
so much more.
no, it doesn't sound silly at all.
Well, I always felt silly when I would just teach to my, pillow and to try and remember things. I would start saying aloud and no one was even in the room. So it can feel silly at times.
No,
um,
it's going to be great. I have some friends who are studying English. I will invite them to study with me.
Perfect, perfect. All right, sounds good. Let me
Hmm.
know how it goes.
Okay.
um, All right, let's keep going. Do you any questions on these two any questions on these two words before we move on?
No, I am understanding the meaning, but I haven't gotten the hang of them yet. You know.
No, that's okay. We're gonna practice them. I just want to get through them so we can understand them on just like a basic level, and then I'll have you make your own sentences, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. Okay. All right, we have two strikes and fumbled, two different sports. Will you please read Bob?
Yeah, the other team has two strikes against it after they fumbled last week.
Good. So, are you familiar with baseball at all?
No, no, Edison. We don't play baseball here in Brazil. You know. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
That's okay.
I I've been seeing some movies, some American movies where they play baseball, but it's confusing. Mm,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little confusing to me as well, and
hmm
I've been to a bunch of baseball games.
I don't know the
But
rules. I cannot understand.
mhm. Well, just for this one, let me explain to you. So, baseball, you have a bat, and someone throws you the ball, and you try and hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you get 3 strikes, which means you get 3 chances to hit it. 1 strike, 2 strikes, and after 2 strikes, you only get 1 more. So 2 strikes means you're almost out. And then if you get a 3rd strike, you'd never hit the ball. Oh man, somebody else's turn.
Okay.
Okay, so this is exactly what this means, 2 strikes. So it's a baseball term, and could you please read the literal meaning?
Mm-hmm. 1 step from going out or losing.
Yeah, so you're only 1 strike away from, losing your turn. That's not how you spell losing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Okay, and the idiom, oops, let me, okay. And the idiom meaning is the same thing, but we apply it to regular life. You're 1 step away from not succeeding. So what is could you please read the idiom meaning?
Uh-huh. Close to not succeeding.
Good. Yeah, so you're almost out. You're almost not going to succeed. That's what 2 strikes means. Okay, and then we have fumbled. This is an American football term. Could you please read the football definition?
Lose possession of the ball.
Good. So in sports, is it a good thing or bad thing to lose possession of the ball?
Bad.
Good. So let's apply it to general life, and let's look at the idiom meaning. Could you please read that?
Make it a serious mistake.
Good. Yeah. So they're really similar. If we lose possession of the ball, it's a bad thing, right? Same thing in life when we do something bad or we make a mistake. Okay. So now that we know the definitions of these 2, let's read Bob one more time.
Yeah. The other team has 2 strikes against it after they fumbled last week.
Good. So this means the other team was close to going out or close to messing up after they made a serious mistake last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. You're doing great. Let's keep going. And we will come back. We will come back to these to make our own sentences. Okay, we have scoring and up to scratch. Oh, sorry. Yep, up to scratch. So could you please read Pete?
They had a great chance of scoring, but I think Roberts thought they weren't up to scratch on some of the details.
Excellent. Will you repeat this word one more time?
Which one? Chance.
Good. Yes, 1 syllable, chance.
Chance.
When you read it, you. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. All right. So scoring, this has to do with any sport, right? Are you familiar? Let's see. What's a sport that you watch in person or on TV? A team sport.
Volleyball, basketball, tennis.
Perfect. Yeah. And the team member needs to score, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is the same in any sport, right? It means to make a point. So is this a good thing or a bad thing?
A good thing.
Yeah, obviously, right? And so what does the idiom mean?
To succeed.
Yeah, so when Pete says they had a great chance of scoring, it means they had a good chance of winning or doing really well. Okay, up to scratch. What sport is this from?
Horse racing.
Good. And what does it mean?
Not capable of winning.
Okay, so they were not up to scratch. They were not capable of winning. And the idiom?
Not having the right qualities.
Yeah, so as we can see, it's similar again. Negative literal meaning, we're going to have a negative idiom meaning. Good. So in this case, Pete says that they had a good chance of succeeding, but Roberts thought they weren't good enough.
Mm.
They didn't have the right qualities.
All right, thank
Um,
you.
mhm. Okay, excellent. Um, let's move on. Okay, two more here. No win situation and stalling for time. Please read Bob for us, Anna.
They pretty much put themselves into a no-win situation by stalling for time on the figures from Smith and Co.
Good. Yeah. So, no win situation. This is pretty literal in both cases. So, this is a baseball term. And if it's a situation where uh, there's a no win, it means impossible to win, not able to win. And then if we generalize this to life, what does the idiom mean?
Impossible to succeed.
Yeah, so really similar to the baseball term. Okay. And then what about stalling for time? What sport is this from?
American football
And what does it mean?
to delay the game.
Awesome. Yeah. So stalling for time means you want more time. So they were delaying the time of the game. The
Mhm.
idiom means what?
To delay information or a decision.
Good. Yeah. So you're also the thing that you want is time. And you're delaying whatever is happening in order to get more time. So in this situation, Bob is talking about people that put themselves in a negative situation where they could not succeed well. And they did this by delaying information on the figures from Smiths
Mm-hmm.
and Co. Okay. So,
Okay.
for example, stalling. Have you heard stalling for time before?
No, no, Edison, I have never heard.
Okay, that's okay. Let's see. Let's try and relate it to our everyday lives. So, for example, if my friend calls me and she's at the restaurant that we're supposed to meet at, and I'm running late,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, "Allie, where are you? It's 8:30. We were supposed to meet at 8 o'clock." I would say, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm actually, yeah, so let me just, so in that situation, I'm stalling for time. I'm trying to get more time so she doesn't ask me where I am and I don't have to answer, right? So I can get into a car before I actually have to answer that question. So in that in situation, I'm stalling for time. I'm kind of uh, delaying information or delaying the answer to her question so that I can waste more time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's see. Could you give me an example? I'll try and think of another example too.
Okay. Um, when an English teacher asks me something and I don't know the answer, I I say, mm, well, well, just to is stall for time. And
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good, perfect example. Yeah, you're trying to delay the answer so that you have a little bit more time to think. That's a perfect example. I did that all the time with my, if a teacher called on me in class, I would
I
try
do
and
it.
find the answer.
I do it really often. Often, Edison. I was watching a class that was
Hmm.
record, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so annoying. All the time,
No,
all the time,
I
I
think that's
swear,
good.
the entire class, I was, my gosh.
Well, I actually think that's a good thing because it means you really want to find out the answer for yourself. So I think that's a good thing, a good quality to have. Otherwise, you could just say, "Oh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know," right? So it's good that you're trying to think of the answer. I think that's a great, great thing.
Right.
All right. Questions on this before we move on?
Mm-mm. I am understanding.
All right, here we go. Okay, get to home is one, and then the other is take the ball and run. So this is a continuation of Bob's quote. Could you please read Bob again?
Okay, if we can get to home at the next meeting, I think that we should be able to take the ball and run.
Good. So in American baseball, when you say home, there is a little spot on the field that's called home plate or home. And this is a good spot to be in. It means that you have scored.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you say, I got to home plate or I got home, that means that you scored a point. So if we read here, get to home, in baseball, it means, like I said, score a run. And the idiom is similar. So scoring a run is a good thing. So the idiom is, could you please read?
Okay, complete the desired action.
Yeah, so whatever it is that you are trying to achieve or that you're trying to complete, and you say, I I can get to home, that means I can complete it in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we have take the ball and run. This is an American football term. Could you tell me what that means in football?
Continue to go forward, usually a long distance.
Good. So, usually in team sports, if we have the ball and we're running, this is a good thing, right? We're running in one direction. The idiom is similar. Could you please read the idiom?
Continue in the right direction.
Excellent. Yeah. So, same thing. Continue, maybe not running, right? But continue in the direction you want to go in. So, maybe this is with a project or this is with, a paper you're writing. It doesn't have to be physical, right? Or maybe an idea that you want to tell your boss about, right? It means it's a really good thing to take the ball and run. Okay, let's read the quote again and see if we can kind of understand it a little bit better this time. Go ahead.
If we can get to home at the next meeting, I think that we should be able to take the ball and run.
Good. So yeah, Bob saying if we can, complete what we want to complete at this meeting, then I think we'll be able to continue going in a good direction. All right, questions on this before we move to the next slide?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we have a lot more and we'll try and get through them. Okay, so there's only one on this slide. It's called Call the Shots. Could you please read Pete and Bob for this one?
Yes, if our numbers are right, we should be able to call the shots from here. We need to get ready to close the deal.
Good, excellent. So this is a basketball term, and it's for someone to decide who shoots. So in basketball, as you're familiar with, you said you've watched it before. You have to shoot the ball into the basket, right? So
Mm-hmm.
to call the shots, like a basketball shot, it means to decide who is going to make the shot, who is going to shoot and score the point. The idiom is similar. Instead of deciding who shoots, you're deciding who is going to make the decisions or who is going to lead the action. So in this case, we have Pete, and he says, we should be able to call the shots from here. So this means we should be able to make the decisions. We should be able to control the situation. Okay?
Okay.
Let's see. For example, another example. Oh, actually, you're familiar with this one, right? I remember you using it really well before in a class. And okay, so this one is familiar to you?
Oh, yes.
Awesome. All right, cool. So there's one then that we're familiar with. That's a good thing. So there's a little review. All right, let's see if these are. Have you heard of this one before?
No.
Okay, good. Well, this is a really popular one, so this is a great one to learn today. We have team players. So any sport like basketball, the players that play on the team are team players, right? So these are the people that work together in order to win the game, right?
Right.
So let's read. Could you please read, Pete?
Okay. Make sure that you take along your team players next week.
Good. So this isn't talking about basketball or tennis players, right? This is talking about the people that he works with. So could you please read the idiom definition?
Players who work together with other players.
Good. That's the sports definition. Could you please read the idiom definition?
People who work together with other staff.
Good. Yeah. So really similar. On a team, these are the people you play with in order to win. And in life, these are the people that you work with in the office. Or maybe any kind of team that you might be a part of outside of work too. So these are the people that you work with to kind of achieve that common goal. In sports, it's to score points. In life, it's any goal, right? To complete a project or, to write a paper or an essay or anything. So yeah, these are just the people that you work with to achieve a goal. All right, next we have playing with a full deck and field. Please read the quote.
I want to be sure that everyone is playing with a full deck and that everyone can field any question asked.
Good. So have you heard of a deck of cards before?
A deck of cards is the place where you can get cards when you are playing.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's that big fat stack of playing cards, right? So that's where this comes from. It comes from cards games. So what is the card definition?
Having all the necessary cards. Edison, a deck is the amount of cards that you hold in your hand or the pile of cards on the table?
The deck is the pile of cards on the table. But when you say playing with a full deck, it means you have all the cards. So it means that you have all the cards you would need to win.
Okay.
Yeah, usually when it's in your hand, the cards that are in your hand are actually called a hand.
All right.
All right. Good question. And then the idiom definition, could you please read?
Yes. Having the correct mental abilities, not stupid.
Good. So in cards, it means having all the things you need in your cards. And then the idiom meaning, it means having all the things you need mentally, right? So not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, field is a baseball term. What does that mean in baseball?
To stop a hit ball.
Good. So when a ball is hit, um, and you catch it or you stop it, that's called field. To field a ball. And then the
Mm-hmm.
idiom definition is similar. If something is thrown at you, it means that you handle it or you deal with it, right? So in this
Oh,
case, it's not a
okay.
ball, but it's anything that's thrown at you, anything that's kind of put towards you to finish or to complete. Okay, let's read the quote again and see if we can understand it a little bit better. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to be sure that everyone is playing with a full deck and that everyone can field any question asked. All
Good.
right.
Yeah, so in this case, he wants to be sure that everyone on the team is ready and prepared, um,
Mm-hmm.
and that everyone can not field any question asked, but deal with or handle anything that comes their way. So basically, he just wants everyone to be prepared.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Three more slides. Okay, this one we have second stringers and ballpark figures. All
Okay.
right. Could you please read Bob? I know you're doing a lot of reading today because you're the only student, but you're doing really, really well. So keep up the good work. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I I will take Shirley and Harry along. They are no second stringers. They can present the ballpark figures, and then I will bring it home.
Excellent. Excellent. So second stringers are any team sport and refers to second class members of the team. So this means they're not the first ones to play. They're not the best players. They're like the lower players. And this is similar in the workplace. Could you tell me what the idiom means?
Less important workers.
Good. So Bob is saying they are no second stringers, meaning they're not less important. They are really important. Good. All right. And then we
Mm-hmm.
have ballpark figures. So this is baseball you play in a ballpark. So the actual definition is the place where the game is played. The idiom is a little bit different. Could you please read it?
General financial numbers.
Good. Yeah. So here, Bob says that Shirley and Harry can present the financial information. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So if I were working with you in an office and say we worked in maybe finance or something like that, um, I might say to you, um, Anna, why don't you present the ballpark figures for the sales that we made yesterday? So
Um,
that would refer to Anna, why don't you tell the boss all the numbers and all the math of the sales we made the other day? Okay?
mhm.
Awesome. All right. Stay with me. Next slide. So we have the same quote. And this time we're going to talk about bring it on home. So in American baseball, remember how I said home plate is when you score? So when you go home or bring it on home, it means you scored a point. Um, so it's a really good thing. It means you're closer to winning the game. It's the same in the idiom, right? You're not actually physically running, but it means to finish with success or to complete something. So Bob says, I will bring it on home. What does this mean?
Um, I will succeed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do really well and I'm going to succeed on this project. Good. All right, last one. I think it's the last one. Yes, it is. Okay, the pitch. So in American baseball, when you throw the ball to the person who's trying to hit the ball, that's called a pitch. So could you please read me what Pete says?
Mm, great. Good luck with the pitch.
Good. So in baseball, it's when you present the batter, the person with the bat, to the ball. You're presenting the ball to them. So if we take this more generally, the idiom, could you please read?
Okay. Um, the idiom
Yes, please.
to present the subject.
Good. So in baseball, we're presenting the ball to the batter, but in the idiom, we're presenting the subject to your coworker or whoever it is. So Pete says, good luck with the pitch. That says, good luck presenting the topic.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We got through all of them. Let's go back and see if we can understand them a little bit better because I know we went through so many, and we have just over 5 minutes, so that's good. Okay. I'll give you two choices. Would you like to read the conversation again or make your own sentences using these
I
vocabulary items?
I would like to try to make my own sentences.
Awesome. Okay. Good choice. I was hoping you'd say that. Okay, so let's start with play ball first. Is Roberts going to play ball? Is he going to do business with us? All right, now I ask you, could you please try and make a sentence using play ball?
Okay. Uh, well, uh, if I were you, I wouldn't say play ball with any politician because they are corrupt.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah, so do business with these corporations. Excellent. Perfect sentence. All right. Now I challenge you to strike out. Bob says, are we going to strike out on this deal? Meaning, are we going to fail on this project? Why don't you give me your own sentence that you can relate to your own life?
Okay. I will never give up study English because I don't want to strike out
Good.
on
Yeah.
it.
Or what?
On it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Perfect. Um, yeah, let me think. That's a great example. I'm trying to think of another one. Um,
Okay.
okay, so it could be anything that you attempt. So it doesn't have to be work or it doesn't have to be a project. It could be like, for example, if you went out on a date and I went out with Dan, for example, but I I'm so sad. I guess I um, striked out. It didn't go so well,
Mm-hmm.
for example.
Okay.
Does that make
Okay.
sense? All
Yes.
right, good. All right. Questions on those before we move on to the other sentences?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, you are on a roll here. You're just flying right through these. Awesome. Okay, how about game plan? I'll try mine. Anna, what's the game plan for class tomorrow? All right, so
Mm,
that is me asking you, what are we going to do for class tomorrow? All right, your turn.
okay. Um. Well. Um. Tomorrow, the game plan is just your class teacher. Because in the morning I won't be available, and in the afternoon, uh, that teacher called off all her classes.
All right. Yeah, perfect. So perfect relating it to your life. Excellent use of the sentence. Good. Okay. Let's see. What about contender?
Okay. Um, my gosh.
Take your time.
Okay. Um, well, if you get anxious in in a in a test or something like that, um, you if you got anxious in a test, you wouldn't be a contender. Mm, no.
Good. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, very good. That's a great example. If you uh, are very anxious during testing, there's a good chance that you're not going to be a contender, meaning you're not going to be the best one or do well on the test. Yeah, that's good. Um, I'm trying to think if I can think of another one. Oh, like maybe a TV show where they're competing to be the next top model. You can say, oh, that girl is a real contender. She is definitely the best model in the group. Okay, so she has a really good chance of winning.
Okay. Okay.
Cool, yeah, excellent. All right, let's keep it on going. We're doing so awesome. All right. 2 strikes. So this means you're really close to getting 3 strikes and being out in baseball. In real life, it means close to failing or close to not succeeding. Um, so Bob says the other team has 2 strikes against it. Um, I think yeah, this one's a little bit tough to make a sentence, but see if you can try and make one.
Okay. um, let me think. Um, all right. Um, okay. Uh,
I can give you my example if that will help.
yes, please.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's No, no, don't apologize. Let's see. Close to failing. Okay. When the woman got pulled over for speeding, she started cursing at the policeman. She already had 2 strikes against her. So that means she's really close to getting in even more trouble.
Hmm.
So for this sentence, try and think of a time where someone or something is almost uh like out of luck or does something really bad or really wrong.
Hmm. Okay. Um, let me think. Oh my gosh. Uh, it's difficult.
It is, but do your best.
Okay, Alison, hold on. Oh my gosh. Ah, my gosh. Um,
Here, how about I give you a situation and you make a sentence from it?
okay.
So there is a man and he um let's see. He is trying to run a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But he broke his foot and broke his ankle.
Oh gosh.
What is a
Uh,
sentence you could say about him?
mm, oh my gosh.
Use the example that Bob gives. So we would say he has.
Mm. Oh my gosh, Edison.
That's okay. Okay, let's look at the
Uh, uh,
sentence right here.
okay, let me try. Ah, gosh.
So
When
you use these words.
okay, when that man uh broke his leg and then broke his arm, he
Mm-hmm.
thought, now I I gosh, no. Let me try again.
Oh,
Uh,
that's good. That's good. Now just finish it with the words that I have highlighted.
oh my gosh. Sorry, Edison.
No, don't apologize. This is what learning's all about.
Okay. When the man broke his leg and then he broke his arm, he thought, I I have two strikes against me.
Good. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Uh, maybe.
So he has two strikes against him. So he was very close to not exceeding. He has two things working against him that are bringing him closer to failing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe on the way to work today, I had two strikes against me after I slipped and fell on the ice, and then I dropped my keys uh, in the river. Okay, so see how it says it's kind of two
Mm-hmm.
things that are happening to you that make you closer to failing or closer to something bad.
Okay.
Okay, all right, that's all we have time for today. Sorry we went a little bit over. I sent you the PowerPoint, so hopefully you can check that out later.
Yes, I
But you
will.
did an excellent job today. I know the spotlight was kind of on you because we didn't have any other students. So thank you for being up for the challenge and participating so well. And yeah, I will see you maybe Thursday. That's when I have my next class. So I would love for you to
Tomorrow.
join me.
Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, I don't think I have. Oh, tomorrow night I have a
Mm-hmm.
class. Yes.
Yes,
Excellent.
it will
Yes, at
be
7.
my game plan for tomorrow. Just your class, okay?
Awesome. Yeah, we're going to talk about weird jobs. So definitely come join me for that fun discussion.
I will. Thank you a lot, Edison. Bye.
All right. Bye, Anna.